If you are ever unsure if your crypto coins are going the right way, I would like you to watch this video. I'd like you to take a look specifically at one of the posts made by Eric right here. It states IBIT is now the third highest revenue generating ETF for Blackrock out of 1,200 funds. Now, if you do not know what Blackrock is, it is the largest asset management company in the world. They basically own everything. I mean, look it up. If you do not know what Blackrock is, you've got some researching to do because they're behind literally everything. And they also have a ton of funds, and these funds are basically options for their clients whose assets they manage to invest into. And out of all the ones they've got that have had over the past few decades, the third most profitable one they have got is Bitcoin. Now, the moment I saw that, I realized the opportunity we've got. I mean, look at this. So IBIT is now the third highest revenue generating ETF for BlackRock out of 1,200 funds and is only $9 billion away from being number one. Just another insane stat for a 1.5-year-old, literally an infant ETF. Here's the top 10 list for BlackRock aside. How about the forgettable IWF at the top spot? Who knew? And if you're thinking, oh, but it's such a bad deal, it's all so bad. Well, in reality, 25 basis points is really quite cheap. It's not that much because Coinbase, Grayscale, all them guys, they were thinking of like 1.5% every single time you tried to buy it, which in the crypto space in reality is not that much, but for fees is ridiculous. And GBTC in Europe and HFs are all 2% fee, matter of fact. I think this is a great case of everyone wins and why capitalism rules. I mean, I mostly do my trades over on a platform like Blowfin. You can see it right here. Fees are negligible, basically, unless you're doing crazy trades. At least it's not the massive percentages these ETFs are charging, but really, it reassured me in my positions. And just to describe that a little bit, I always have trading positions open, right? Here's a few that I've got over on Blowfin, for example. It's not 1 million yet, but it's quite a good size we've got open here on just this one account. And it made me realize I really just need to play this game even harder. Just stack these coins up even more because really, when you're thinking about it, if it's that profitable for the largest asset managers in the world, they're not going to let this ship sail. All right? They are going to do every single thing within their grasp to make these prices go up even more. Why? Well, theoretically speaking, they don't care if the price goes up or down. Aside from the fact that everybody in the world knows if the main markets you're investing in don't go up, they die. That's literally how it goes. If the market doesn't over time go upwards, nobody's interested anymore, right? You want them to go sideways, but mostly up. So, or theoretically speaking, it could be down, but they make an exit pump, like exit money. They want entry money. They want the prices to soar, so they keep making this because they, with their top analysts, have also realized this ETF is 1.5 years old. They are making more money on this than things that are freaking 50. Okay, I don't know how many are, but let's just say 30 years old. Can you realize that for a second? You might say, yeah, but it's hot and new. It's insane the margins they've got on this. If they can just stretch this out for another decade or so, whoa, will their investors be happy? So think about it from this angle. If BlackRock, one of the biggest asset managers in the world, is making such massive margins on this, they will try everything in their best to make this keep succeeding so they can make more money. And that is why a while back I stated, whenever you see announcements of BlackRock buying, it's not them buying, it's their clients. But a counter of it is that BlackRock is basically buying it for them. But the counter is that every single one of those transactions, BlackRock is making money on. And so what they want is, theoretically speaking, for there to be as much volatility as possible. But I always see it as they want as many new people to come on in. They want this asset to be as volatile and as crazy as it can get on a normal frame. They don't want massive up and down. They want mostly slow but sure up. So volatile in the sense that it moves, but not too much where it scares off investors. So when I thought about it like that, I really still think that for mostly the assets that these major asset companies don't have control over, they have more spike potential. I'm talking about exponential, just out of the park crazy price moves, because many of these institutions do not want their clients getting wrecked by Bitcoin spiking too much and then falling very hard. So that's also one of my expectations for the next few years, that the volatility in Bitcoin will become less and less, because there's just way more opportunities for some funds to take profit just because they want it to happen in that flow, right? They want the price to slowly but surely go up, not too hard, not too crazy. I mean, what we saw happen to the S&P, that's kind of how I see eventually Bitcoin being as well, where slowly and surely it goes up, but a spike of that sort of like 20-30% is world news. Everybody's crying, everybody's going crazy for it. Not like now, where it could drop 20% in a week and everybody would be like, oh, wow, Bitcoin's dropped. Yeah. No, as time progressed, even matter of fact, back in the past times, 2018 for example, if Bitcoin dropped 20%, nobody would really bat an eye, because it would happen in a day like nothing. Right now, that means going from 100,000 to 80,000, it scared the people off. That's again different if the market pumps a lot first. If we go from 145,000 back to 115, for example, I don't think that many people will be that scared, but it depends on how quickly the market moves up and down, etc., etc. Right? But I think that volatility over time will be slashed, whereas altcoins that have not gotten themselves some of these major ETFs just quite yet have a little bit more potential for it. That's besides the fact that I'm telling you guys right now, pay attention to what I'm saying, right? Everybody attention. Make sure you press that like button. I'm going to give you guys some alpha. I think one of the most profitable things right now is actually buying companies that are going to be adding a altcoin or a Bitcoin or whatever treasury. By the way, it's just a little pinpoint. If you are looking at companies that might add it, if you're buying into them, 9 out of 10 spike after doing it. And right now, a lot of people are eyeing that. And if you think, oh, but it might not be that easy, it's very freaking easy. And people are making millions of dollars doing this right now. It's a short-term opportunity. You might only have a few more months, but even if you only got a $10,000 to your name, you might be a millionaire in 1 year just by playing this game right. So it's just a little bit of, hey, if you've got the time, the freaking brain, and you know how to analyze this stuff, you can make a good amount of money on this. But it's a little bit of manual work right there for y'all to figure out for yourselves. But I actually have one more thing to add to this whole story. One part a lot of people are forgetting as well is that the freaking president of the United States launched a crypto, or really is working on one, right? With World Liberty Finance. He freaking pumped the crap out of Solana by launching memes. Do you think this person is going to let the opportunity slide? I mean, eventually, I think they might really run through this crypto space so much by extracting so much money that might be what starts the bear market. It could really be possible. But on the short term, do you think they're going to let this opportunity go to waste? Do you think there's any chance, my thoughts, of a bear market coming in without Trump launching a few more ridiculous things? I'm talking goofy things. I don't think there is any way. I think if the market were to move down really, really hard, Trump would find yet another angle to make sure we get another good, crazy, silly move going on just to extract even more. These are my thoughts. And from that angle, man, if you're bearish on the crypto market right now, realize that most coins have not even peaked yet. Every single time people go to the comments section to state, but maybe this time there won't be an altcoin season. There's 10 million coins this time. It won't happen, it won't happen, it won't happen. I personally think it will. Also, when looking at the dominance, just think about it like this. Bitcoin's dominance has been increasing for 3 years in a row. Now, back then, versus now, there's 1,000 times more altcoins. There's like 10 million altcoins now. What is the probability of Bitcoin only continuing up to get more and more of the entire cryptocurrency market over time? I think at some point, a lot of retail will come back in, because right now they don't exist. They will invest massively into smaller coins, and Bitcoin will go back to being about 1/3 of the entire crypto market, maybe slightly more, maybe 40%. But a lot of money is going to go into alts. Money will still flow into Bitcoin, but relatively more will flow into alts, leading it downwards. If you do not think this is true, that Bitcoin's dominance will ever fall again, you basically do not believe that other ETFs will have a successful boom of sorts, and that the retail will ever come back. Because retail in reality will not mostly buy Bitcoin, because there's not as many gains to be made. They'll go for smaller and smaller things. And such, I believe again, that right now still for the most part, all the interest is with Bitcoin until a shift happens, and all of a sudden it's all the, I've been saying this for years though. Everything that's happening thus far is exact textbook for how we expect the market to move. And again, we could be a couple of months off, but I still am highly convinced of what I'm saying right now. The way I keep expecting it to happen, it will happen. And in the worst case, if it doesn't, again, I've got my trades over on Bluff, and all we need is for XRP to get above $2.30, maybe another pump to $2.60. We make a couple $100,000 if it goes back to $3, for example, and we're chilling again as well, because we had ourselves a very, very good trade, which again, for some people could be a freaking yearly wage off of one single trade. And I still think if there's never an altcoin season, we should at least have one more pump, right? I'm just saying at least. And if the price just goes back to $3, we've got about a 40% increase around position. How much would that be? 250K, 250K or something like that. If we just go back to like $3, $3.10. So yeah, I think that's it's pretty good for just one trade, because we've also got millions of dollars in other positions. So this is just one trade. But from that angle, you think XRP will never go back to $3? I think it will. We've got a lot of money riding on it. But so that's, in my opinion, like the worst case for this market. Again, if you do not believe the market will ever recover, short everything to zero. But I think there's a 0% chance of that. Not financial advice, but those are my thoughts. And again, if you really don't believe it will happen, show me your shorts. I like to see us battle this one out to the ground, because I'm highly convinced that I will win. But yeah. Worst case, I've got my bots cashing out profits every single day because of the volatility of the crypto market. And I'll remind you, people always say, no, it will be different, no, it will be different. I have made videos throughout the last 10 years or so, even here back in 2023, where I explain my strategy, and things move exactly as expected because it's always been the same. I've been making videos since 2017, every single day. Everything moves as you expect them to. The only thing that's slightly off most of the time is timing. It could be a few months more, a few months less, something like that. But everything I talked about here in 2023, it worked out exactly as predicted. But you can't see it straight away. It takes some months to notice. This is a year and a half, almost 2 years now since I made this video. And now everything I'm saying is starting to work out. Sometimes it takes a bit of time, but soon, everything you ever wished for will probably come true. But you can't see it yet once it's happening. You will only see it afterwards. But yeah, we'll talk about it soon. I just wanted to quickly let you guys know, if you don't understand these ETFs in the back end, just rethink it for a second, and that's about it.